Hey everybody, we are reading chapter 15 of Restart. We left off with Venetta showing Delphine her system for saving, because Delphine's trying to struggle and let her sisters be more independent, and that's new to her. And so we left off with Venetta showing Delphine her system for saving for the concert. This chapter is called Grade 6. I put on my new jumper, the one Lucy had shoved in Big Ma's hands. I felt ready for the 6th grade, and I couldn't wait to be in Miss Honeywell's class. She was the nicest, youngest teacher in the school and the best dresser. She assigned her class fun, science, art, and history projects, and she wasn't a yeller like the other 6th grade teachers. I walked Fern down to where the 2nd graders lined up. Venetta broke away from us and ran off the minute she spotted her friends from last year. I don't blame her. I couldn't wait to be away from my sisters and move among my classmates. Although Frida Banks lived a few blocks around the way from us, off Atlantic Avenue, we joined hands and swung them like we hadn't seen each other in ages. Then Lucy raced over, and so did Evelyn and Carmen and Monique and Rukia and the rest of the girls. The same old boys showed off trading cards and clowned around nearby, all except for Ellis Carter. Ellis was nowhere in sight, and I thought how lucky it would be if his family had moved to Queens or Staten Island. I didn't care about the boys in my class, but was so happy to be surrounded by the girls. Most of us were still 11, while some had already turned 12. All of us wore hairstyles slightly different from our 5th grade dues, except for Rukia Marshall, a Malcolm X Muslim whose hair was always covered by a scarf thing. Evelyn's and Monique's jumpers were like mine, but in different colors. Lucy said it was about time I wore good clothes, but she didn't spill the beans that she had picked out my jumper 2 weeks ago. It was a sign that things were starting off right. When the first bell rang, we formed 2 lines behind the cheese gold, 3 painted into the asphalt. Lucy, Frida, and I couldn't wait to see what outfit Miss Honeywell wore and how she styled her hair. But instead of Miss Honeywell, a short, dark-skinned man stood facing our lines. "Classroom 3, he said. "Follow me, please." We murmured as we followed him inside the building, up the steps to the 6th graders' floor, and into our new classroom. When we found seats, he wrote Mr. Mwila on the board, and then pronounced it for us. Mwila is how Miss Merriam-Webster would have broken down his pronunciation. Mwila. Although the letters of his name couldn't be said without showing teeth, I got the feeling he didn't mean to smile, only to say his name. "I am your new teacher," he said. "Welcome to grade 6, classroom 3. There was some giggling because he didn't say it the right way. "Welcome to the 6th grade, class 6-3. But also because he spoke with 2 accents. One was probably an African accent, and the other was like the Queen of England's, but not like Ringo Starr's or Mick Jagger's. Lucy spoke up for the rest of us. "Where's Miss Honeywell?" "Didn't you hear?" Danny the K said. "She's doing time, man." "I'm not a man," Lucy said, "and she's not hardly in prison." "Decorum, class," Mr. Mwila said sternly. Of course, no one knew what he just said, but the sharpness of his tone got our attention. He didn't answer Lucy's question, but instead he said, "Now, class 3, you have 2 minutes to find your seat for the school year. Once I call time, your seat will be your permanent seat." He raised his watch, waited, and then said, "Class 3, find your seats." The class went crazy with chairs scraping and kids running, colliding, and laughing. Any boy who was on the right side of the classroom got up and ran to the left side. Any girl who sat on the left side ran to the right. Boys pushed their neighbors out of whatever desks they chose, while Mr. Mwila looked on at the whole spectacle, nodding to himself. Rukia found out Monique wasn't her friend when Monique told her she couldn't sit there. That seat was for Carmen. Rukia took the desk nearest to the front that no one wanted. I was already on the girls' side of the room, so I stayed put. As long as Anthony, Ant, Danny the K, Enrique, the Jameses, the Michaels, Upton, and all the other jokers were on the boys' side, I was fine. The desk to my left remained untaken, but with Lucy in front of me and Frida at my right, I breathed easily. I was safe. Outside of 3 new faces, not a whole lot had changed since Miss Peterson's class. It was as though someone had decided that we were family and couldn't be separated. The only difference was that the head of the classroom wasn't a woman in snappy mod clothing, but a short man in a dark suit who wasn't from Brooklyn. Mr. Mulila raised his hand, his palm side showing and fingers sprayed wide. Time. It was at that moment that the classroom door opened and Ellis Carter walked in, looking lost and happy and confused all at once. Lost ever having wandered the hall, happy to see his old boys from last year, confused to see Mr. Mulila and not Miss Honeywell. His arms and legs seemed extra gangly, and he lopped around like he didn't know what to do with the extra inches he had grown. Do you belong in grade 6, classroom 3? Ellis shrugged, but Mr. Mulila didn't like that. I don't understand this, Mr. Mulila said. He imitated Ellis's shrug, but sharper. Either you belong in grade 6, classroom 3, or you belong elsewhere. Ellis was a shrugger. He did it again. The boys laughed, thinking he was talking back, but with his body. Here, I guess, Ellen said meekly, enough to save him from walking the paddle mile to Principal Meyer's office. Find a seat, Mr. Mulila said. Ellis circled around, long-legged and doofy. We all laughed through sealed lips to keep from laughing full out. The only desks available were on the girls' side. Ellis probably thought if he circled around long enough, a seat would magically appear next to Danny the K or by one of the Jameses. He was out of luck on the boys' side. So he turned toward the desks, all the way in the back of the class, behind Yvonne. Ellis Carter knew what was best for him. He didn't want to see the side of my face any more than I wanted to see the side of his squirrely face from now until June. His jaw probably still stung every time he looked my way. He took a step to the back, but Mr. Mulila stopped him. Right here, young man. Mr. Mulila told him in a voice that said, don't test me. The time for choice has passed. You'll sit where I tell you to sit, and you'll be on time for the start of class. The boys broke out into, oh no, snaps. Then Mr. Mulila shushed them without making a sound, just a sharp eye and fingers to the lips. But I don't want to sit with these girls. Ellis looked like he was about to cry. He crunched himself down into the desk chair, one sneaker in each aisle. Like it or not, I couldn't look to my left in the direction of the teacher's desk without seeing Ellis Carter. We're going to stop right there. First day of school, new teacher with an unexpected twist. Mr. Mulila is not who Delphine was expecting. But we'll see where it goes. It sounds like he is not from, Delphine even noticed that he has an accent. He's not from Brooklyn. So hopefully we get to find out more about Mr. Muila's character. This is the point where we're going to stop for our book club meeting on Friday. I will plan to upload other chapters of this book throughout the week, but we'll only talk about up to the first day of 6th grade when we meet on Friday. So you guys, be good, be safe. I miss you. I hope to talk to you soon. All right? Later.